So it looks like we're going to have a government shutdown starting this Monday. Wanted to crank out on a high impact video before Tuesday because this is a pretty big deal. How's this going to affect the US dollar? It's already falling off a cliff. Let's roll the intro. Yo, what's going on, guys? Okay, wanted to crank out on an emergency high impact video. A government shutdown is a pretty big deal. You guys can look all around in the tabloids and you can see that it is happening. They're calling it a Trump shutdown. And we're going to go over exactly what's going on, why it's happening, but more than anything, how is this going to affect our charts and how is this going to affect your money and your jobs? Some people's jobs and livelihoods will be affected because of the government shutdown. It's happened before. You can go look back and see how it affected the market and how it affected the economy. You can relay that back over to how it's going to affect it in the next coming weeks or so. And we're going to actually be going deeper into the charts as to how this is going to affect our actual technicals, and that's going to come out tomorrow. All right, so you want to make sure that you're subscribed so you can get notified when that video is released. And as always, guys, like the video for your boy. I appreciate it. Okay, so government shutdown, Trump shutdown. What the fuck's going on? Okay, well, back in 2013, we had another government shutdown. That was actually happening because the Republicans shut down the government because they didn't want to pass certain regulations. And they said, hey, look, if these regulations aren't going to be passed, then we're not going to sign the bill to increase the budget deficit. Okay, that is the biggest deal, and that is the main reason why the government is shutting down. That's why it shut down in 2013. That's why it shut down in 2018. There has been warnings and I guess threats of shutting down the government in the past year. Back in 2017, Trump has done that to the Democrats. Okay, basically saying, hey, look, I'm going to shut the government down if the Democrats don't pass these bills here. Again, very interesting decision, for the president to make. And but again, that's just the way things work over in the political world. Okay, but now what does that mean for us? Well, it does bring on a lot of uncertainty into the markets, but not just based off of the idea that, oh my God, the U.S. government is shutting down, the whole economy is going to collapse. That's not the way things actually work. Okay, so when you have a government shutdown, it's a federal government shutdown. So back in 2013, when I heard the government shut down, I was like, oh man, my mom, she's gonna get furloughed, right? So furloughed is when you actually miss payments, right? You miss paychecks, and but that's not the case. She has a state job. She's a teacher, right? And the government, you'll need a federal job. And if you work for federal law enforcement, if you work with government agencies that have to deal with travel, I saw people that deal with or work in the capacity of doing things with your passport, doing things with visas. All of those types of jobs are going to be affected. Right now, there's 2.9 million executive branch jobs, and those are usually the jobs that are going to get affected. For example, in the last shutdown, there was 840,000 people that actually missed paychecks in the federal government. So that's going to happen probably again, depending on how long the shutdown is going to go on. Again, last time it happened, it went on for about 16 days. Again, we just don't know how long it's going to happen this time around. And outside just federal jobs and things of that sort, there's a couple extra things that we have to keep an eye on, and that's more important to us as traders, which is the fundamental data. Fundamental data is released by the government, a large part of it, okay? And if the government shuts down, the executive branch, they're usually the ones putting out that fundamental data. So when it comes to non-farm payroll, that's an entity that is underneath the executive branch, right? And so usually you will have a delay in the fundamental data, and that's going to have major implications, right? So if NFP is delayed a week, again, that brings uncertainty, okay? People don't want to deal with that. You will have a larger exodus of that US dollar. Again, that's just going to depend on how long it actually takes for them to end the shutdown and raise the debt ceiling. Okay, so the debt ceiling is raised. Once the debt ceiling is raised, everyone's going to be able to start working again, and they will be able to start paying themselves again with the printed money that they got from the Treasury, right? Because that is what the debt ceiling is. We talked about the debt ceiling a few high impact videos ago, but guys, you just need to rationalize the government prints money. They print lots of money, right? Usually the government is paid via taxes from the people, but on many occasions, they run out of that money, okay? And when they run out of that money, they have to raise the debt ceiling, okay? Debt ceiling. They have to print more money, bring more of that capital into the actual government offices and the government entities, so then they can start paying themselves again. And Trump and everyone else, they want to raise the debt ceiling. They have to. If they don't raise the debt ceiling, if they don't start printing more money, then the government literally won't be able to function, right? So eventually the debt ceiling has to be raised. It's the joke, basically. Everyone says, hey, don't raise the ceiling anymore. We need to be adding any more debt into the economy. It doesn't even work like that. You have to raise the debt ceiling. That's a joke of an argument. Right now the economy is just so unstable, there is no way that we would actually not be able to raise the debt ceiling and hope for some type of robust productivity to start happening in the United States to go back to repatriate that debt back into the government so they can exist. Every dollar that is made in the government from federal income tax or whatever goes back into the government, okay? Whether it's labor costs, okay, paying government employees, or going straight into infrastructure. Usually you're just not having some large sum of profits sitting on the side just in case, which is why technically they have, again, to raise the debt ceiling. So more or less, guys, the reasons why you will have a US dollar decline or a US dollar sell-off as soon as markets open on Sunday night is going to happen because of the uncertainty in the fact that, hey, we don't know how long this shutdown's going to happen. And if this shutdown lasts for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you never know. Again, that is going to push back economic data, and pushing back that economic data just adds uncertainty that a lot of market participants just don't want to have, especially when it pertains to the US dollar. Okay, so that is the stuff that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Let's go into the technicals tomorrow, guys, and try to rationalize, okay, if we're going to have a continuation on this US dollar sell, where can we start positioning ourselves there? Hopefully we don't get a massive gap. Who knows what's going to happen? We potentially may get a gap in price action. You just never know how markets are going to react. And if we do, then we may be, have to reposition ourselves to try to rationalize, okay, are we going to get a gap fill? Our market's going to continue higher? You just really don't know. Gaps always don't have to fill. Okay, they don't always have to fill. So you might just have to start running with the thing when it starts to pop. Okay, so guys, your profit, always my motive. Very interesting to see a government shutdown so early in 2018, and honestly so early in Trump's presidency. That's something that folks are also keeping an eye on, like, oh wow, government's already shut down by now. And again, people don't really rationalize or understand what a government shutdown is. It's not huge, but it is huge. Okay, it's not like the entire economy is about to collapse, but the government has to function, right? And you will have some people furloughed and not able to pay certain bills, and it is a very, very big deal. And sometimes they don't even get back the money that they were furloughed for those particular weeks where they weren't paid. Okay, so again, very interesting. Let's keep an eye on it. Let's take a look at markets tomorrow. I'll talk to you guys very soon. Profit, always my motive. Link below to get inside of the Top Trader Trading Room. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.